Here's how I made this puff quilt bag that my cat Nugget seems to like. I chose 7 different fabrics and then cut 27 4.5-inch squares. I also cut 27 4-inch squares of the white fabric. Then I sewed all my pockets by sewing along 3 sides. You get your squares to line up by creating a 1/4-inch pleat along each side. When you plan out the pattern for your bag, this is what each side should look like. Then you'll sew each row of your pockets. Start by filling the top row of one side with polyfill. Then you'll sew that row closed and clip on a second row. You'll repeat that process until you have both sides of your bag filled with polyfill. It should look something like this. Next, you'll sew along these edges to start creating the bag. Then you'll sew along the bottom row to create the bottom of the bag. Then pull the corners and sew along that edge to close those holes. You can now flip the bag right side out, and this is what it will look like so far. To create the straps, you're going to cut 4-inch wide fabric. Fold this fabric in half and then sew along the edge. Then flip your strap right side out and fill with polyfill. If you decide to add trim like I did, this is what it will look like when you pin the trim and the straps to your bag. You will then sew all along the top of your bag. The last step is to sew your inside lining. For this, I cut 2 14.5 by 13-inch rectangles, and then I cut out 2 2-inch squares of 2 corners. You're going to sew this similar to how you sewed your bag. You're going to sew along each edge and the bottom edge and the corners, except you're going to leave a hole on one side. Then you'll put your bag inside your lining and sew along the top of the bag. After you do that, you can pull the whole bag through the hole that you had in your lining. To close the hole in the lining, I use a ladder stitch. And this is what the bag will look like once you're all done.